think so. And for you, what do you sort of consider your first?
Like the writing, I liked
There, I optioned Eleanor for the first time.
You're kidding.
Yeah. And I got paid $0, but I still was like, I'm a professional writer, this is it.
Yes, you are.
I'm gonna quit my job. I didn't quit my job, but we got canceled, so that was okay.
Yeah, I don't know if people know this, but this is your first produced screenplay, which is
It is.
incredible.
Yeah, this is I wrote this script 10 years ago. I was in grad school. It was my first year in grad school at USC. And this was the first script I ever wrote and thought, oh, that's me. Well, that's not me, but that's, you know, I didn't lie. But that feels like me. And I just stuck with it for a really long time.
And I hear it was kind of inspired by your grandmother. Not the lying part, but the movie
Not
part.
the lying part. Yes, no, it was. My grandma, whose name was Eleanor Morgenstein, she moved from Florida to New York City, to Manhattan, at 95 years old, because she was bored. And mostly all of her friends had passed, and she was alone, and she looked around and thought, what am I doing here? And so she moved into a one-bedroom on the Upper East Side in Yorkville, 94th and 1st.
really liked the writing, I liked Eleanor, and so I told them yes, I would do it. And this one told me a story. You tell the story about the letter.
Oh, the letter that I wrote you? I wrote June a letter, which I actually meant to print out and give you today, but I wrote June a letter to go along with the script, kind of a love letter that I had written the script for her. I was in grad school in 23, and the only person I ever thought of for the role was June, and I wrote it in her voice, and I wrote her a letter when we were sending it out, and she said yes before I had time to send it. So, yeah.
I said yes right away to them.
So have you ever read the letter? You did eventually.
No, I've never seen the letter.
It might have changed your mind. You never know. You said this was 2023, so this was obviously before Thelma. Were you a big Hubie Halloween fan, or was it Nebraska?
It was Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Yeah, I saw Nebraska and thought, who is that? And really, I think that Nebraska is. Somebody recently asked me, like, what films influenced this movie? And the main one is Nebraska, because without it, I wouldn't have.
And I know this is the directorial debut of Scarlett Johansson, and I'm not surprised she's a great director. I'm only surprised that her first movie is so accomplished and confident. It's such a complex project. Yeah, she's not here, but let's go applaud for her. Yeah, pass that along. What made her, such a great fit for this material, in your opinion?
She loved the material. She loved the idea of exploring the Holocaust and still talking about the Holocaust. And I think she felt the way I did. It was well written, and it was something that she felt she could, get into. And thank God she did.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all are better off for it.
Yeah. Did she reach out to you, or did this come to you?
No, this came to me first. I was kind of given to her. And she said the other day something about, well, I had June, and so I said yes to it. And I said, you could have said no. I mean, it was like, I was just automatically going to do it. But I'm sure if they got Scarlett, they would have to consider what her wants were for the lead. But she wanted me to do it, so. And we had a Zoom call that was great. And I think we both breathed easier after it, that we could work together.
Well, you two are so great together. I don't know if you saw them on the Oscars, but it was the highlight of the show. You need to do a movie together, and you need to write it.
Okay.
And I believe, actually, Tory, I don't know how the script actually made it into Scarlett's hands, but she kind of had her own connection a little bit to the story. Her I believe her great uncle.
Yeah, she's lost family in the Holocaust, and yeah, at first, when I was told Scarlett Johansson wants to direct and produce your movie, I basically fainted, and then I thought, wait, Scarlett's Jewish? And then I thought, wait, Scarlett lost family in the Holocaust? I really didn't know this about her at all. And then when I met her, we kind of talked a lot about our families and our family history, and I had family in the Holocaust, and so did she, and something that's really important to her.
Because this is Hollywood, was any part of you worried Scarlett wanted to play Eleanor?
You know what? So this script has been kind of like my calling card and my sample around town for a really long time. And there have been producers that have been interested in it, but thought, can we age Eleanor down? And I thought, how young? And they said 50s. And I said, do you know what history is? And time? Yeah, there were some producers that wanted to make Eleanor like kind of like hotter, and I was like,
Not possible.
she's hot enough.
Yes.
Oh God, yes, I don't have any.
And yeah, it was very bizarre. But no, I did not think that she was going to be Eleanor.
That's so funny. You know, as an actress herself, what's it like working with someone like Scarlett, who probably...
It was wonderful. I think that's one reason that I just feel, you know, so great about the work we did. Is the set was so relaxed, and she and I have finally decided that we sort of work the same way as an actress. So she knew exactly what I was doing. I mean, there was no pushing, and there was no holding back. She just understood where I was going when I went there. And as I said, I mean, even really fine directors don't always know that. They simply don't know the process of what you're getting out there.
I think all directors should act in something just to be on the other side.
I think it would help.
And I know she went to great lengths to like really ensure authenticity, including some of the real-life Holocaust survivors are in the film.
Yeah, all the people in the Holocaust Survivor Support Group are real Holocaust survivors. We actually just lost one of them last week, I found out. Yeah, but they all showed up. They were so lovely and so generous with their time. And, you know, those are long days, and they're all a little older. And when I was visiting set, we were filming the scene in the synagogue, and I guess there were notes and all that, whatever. And I look over, I'm in Video Village, and I can see the screen, and like 3 of them are asleep. And I thought, film that, put that in the movie, that's so funny. It did not make it into the movie, but it's so funny. And then I was like, don't wake them up. Why wake them up? But yeah.
What was it like working with them? Because I'm always fascinated by working with, I don't want to say non-actors, because they're actors now. I'll say first-time actors, but also, you know, the history that they bring with them, it has to be so humbling.
Well, it was, but we just chatted. I mean, we certainly never talked about what had happened to them. And we just talked about the day and where we were coming from or going or whatever. And Sammy, who was sitting next to me, we sort of chatted, but it was very, you know, we were just people talking, is all.
I mean, this movie has so many great actors, but you and Erin Kellerman, who are so wonderful together, who plays Nina. This may sound like a strange question, but was there any kind of a chemistry read between you two before she was cast?
No, and somebody asked Scarlett this the other day with Erin and I there, and Scarlett just started laughing like crazy. She said, I'd never have one of those. And I don't think she would. I don't think she would think in terms of that. But we did meet before. We lived in the same building.
What? Really?
Well, they put us up.
Oh, there.
I was from LA and she was from London, so we needed a place to stay. And so they put us in the same apartment building. And we met Erin, I think, coming up in the elevator. And somehow she said something, or we said something. We is my assistant and I, Kelly Sweeney, who is, without her, I wouldn't be here.
Is Kelly here? Can we?
She is.
There she is.
Yay, Kelly.
Stand up.
You know, in the same building, so we met Erin and we invited her in for pizza or whatever we were having that night. So we started socializing ourselves before we ever shot anything. I think we had about 2 weeks there together, getting things, you know, all set to go. And so they were like, oh, you two have got to meet each other, you've got to be together. And they even set up a silly luncheon and said no one else could come, just Erin and I. And I said, everybody in the car, get in there, come on for lunch. But it was funny because everybody was so worried about it, and they needn't be at all.
Well, I mean, like, the chemistry is obvious on the screen, but also the characters are getting to know each other as the movie unfolds, so it kind of makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
How else did you prepare to play Eleanor?
I just deal with the script. That's why the script is so important to me, and why I do not do something if I don't feel I can work with the script. So I just feel that's the meat and bones of this woman and this film. And so I study a lot before I go up to shoot. And I learn everything, my lines, and and doing that, you spend so much time with the script. So that I really it's the script is what I work with.
Every time you say script, she lights up. I don't blame you.
But I also did know very early on, I had heard around town that June was a one-take wonder. And then watching her work, I visited set and I watched and I said, oh yeah, that's exactly it. She needs like no help.
Yeah.
Although when I first walked in, I don't know if I told you this, but when I first visited set, I'm like getting my bearings and looking around and I'm looking at the screen and you're in between a take and Scarlett is giving you a back massage while giving you notes. And I just thought, that's so sweet. That's wild. I don't know another director who's doing that. It was great.
Not many directors do that.
And not many should, but Scarlett came.
That is amazing. This film is very funny in places in the way that life is funny, but obviously you're dealing with serious material. How do you sort of balance those tones in the writing?
Well, I realized in watching the film that comedy is not hard if it's for comedy's sake. If you know it's supposed to be funny and it's written that way and everybody wants that. But in a film like this, I think you have to be brave. I think you have to say, this I find funny. And if I find it funny, then it's going to come over funny that way. No, I mean, so that's what I think, that you're truthful with it. But I think you have to be brave. I don't think that most people, or a lot of people, can just throw it off that way. Because sometimes it's wrong in this sort of film.
Oh, yeah.
I was interested in, I grew up visiting my grandmother in Florida, and her best friend was Bessie, and Bessie was a Holocaust survivor, and Bessie never smiled. And, I was little and would say, why don't you smile? And she'd said, Hitler took my smile. And I thought, that's funny and weird. But I've gotten to know a fair amount of survivors, and their lives are, funny and complicated and interesting, and it's not just dark and it's not just sad. And so I just think that if you're telling a story about survivors, or just a story about people, it has to be partially funny and partially sad. And I also recognized that I was very interested in the Holocaust, and I was researching it, and I was spending my weekends at the Museum of Tolerance and watching these people and going to talks where they would bring a survivor in, and I was getting to meet them and all that. But I realized that all of the media that I was watching about the Holocaust, movies and shows, were so sad and punishingly so at times. And if something is just so punishingly sad, oftentimes younger people won't gravitate towards it. And this was a nice way to sort of inject a little bit of comedy into a deeper message.
Yeah. And life is funny in weird ways quite often, yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Anne Frank Gift Shop. It's a short film.
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's online. You should all check it out. I'm sorry, I'm shilling another film here, but it's really good because it's based in truth. There really is a gift shop at the Anne Frank Museum.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Yeah. Which actually makes sense.
Yeah. Going to the Anne Frank house was very odd to me. I went in 2014, which is, I think, around the time that The Fault in Our Stars movie came out. And I was walking around the Anne Frank house and really sad, and there were these two kids in front of me, and somebody said, this is where they shot The Fault in Our Stars. I was like, that's what you're taking from this? This is where a lot of other shit happened. Okay. But anyway, I don't know why I said that.
That's actually brilliant. Well, I was actually sort of curious about that, like what the atmosphere was like on set, because in addition to, some heavy material, this is an independent film, you're probably working long hours, and I don't even know if you had trailers.
Yes,
Okay.
We did.
But what was it like to, be on set with these amazing actors? You also have Chiwetel Ejiofor. It just feels like it was just very warm.
It was, and I think it was an easy shoot. I don't know how else to say it. There was nothing drastic happened. Scarlett was the leader, and she set the pace and the tone. And I think we all were having a good time. I think we all laughed a lot. We really got tickled at each other a lot.
I think that, I wasn't on set the whole time, but I think that's something, Scarlett's a really effective leader because you say it was a very easy shoot. And I'm sure there was like a ton of drama with budget and, constraints and stuff like that, but I think that Scarlett kind of never let on that anything could possibly have gone wrong. She's really good that way. She's very calm. I think she's seen it all.
Yeah. For each of you, what was the most challenging scene? What was the one that you really struggled to write, and was there one that was surprisingly difficult to pull off?
For me, I think the temple scene.
Yeah.
Because I also learned the whole Torah.
Did you
thing.
really?
Yes. The bat mitzvah Torah.
The Torah.
Yeah, I did. And I did it a few times on set, and they filmed it, but it never made it into the film. But that was hard. I mean, there was something very, I hate this word, but it was stiff, because I guess it was in a temple. And so I always felt like I had to do things just right, because it was in a temple.
Yeah.
And that was a little different. It wasn't that bad. I'm exaggerating, really. But it was different. Let's just say this. It had a different tone to it. And everybody was sitting out in the audience, all the time. And Scarlett was out there, out in the audience. It's in the pews where people were sitting. But it was not easy. Yeah. It was not easy.
Well, it's a heartbreaking scene because we understand why Eleanor did what she did, and how that happened. But it's heartbreaking for her, for the people to learn that.
But and the atmosphere, I don't know, it shifted some.
The hardest scene for me to write was probably the beginning of the script, because you have to like Eleanor and also understand that she's kind of a piece of work. And it's a really specific balance.
Yeah.
But I trusted that June could do it, so I kind of leaned into the piece of workness, and she made it really charming.
Yeah. I know you've been all over the world with this movie. You premiered at Cannes. You just got back from Toronto. What is it like, to see this movie reaching audiences and how they've been responding?
First.
Very surreal. I had never seen anything I'd written before, and then to see it at Cannes in everybody in a gown and a ton of makeup and everybody wearing a tux was really bizarre. And I'm so thankful I had a beta blocker. But it's been amazing, and TIFF was fantastic. I love TIFF and I love Toronto, and it was so fun because you can't buy a ticket. It's all you get a ticket and you're like gifted a ticket basically. But at Toronto, it was just normal people in Toronto seeing the movie, and so it was fun to see it with them, and a little bit less pressure because we'd already done Cannes and the ovation and all that. I don't know, it's been great.
Yeah, I think it has. It's been a great press tour. The whole thing is, and Cannes was exciting. It really was.
You've been before, right?
Yes, I was there with Nebraska. But I will say this, with Nebraska, I had never been there before and I didn't know what to expect, and I was just mouth open the whole time. And they literally pushed me everywhere, get over here, June, get over there. And I felt more relaxed this time, and I sort of enjoyed Cannes.
Yeah.
Which I had not done the first time.
Yeah, no, because it's work. People don't understand that these are work. Well, I want to remind everyone, this movie actually opens in theaters next week. It actually opens on my birthday, which is the greatest birthday. I made it about me, I'm sorry. But how often does that happen? I want to thank you all for being such a great audience. I want to thank you and congratulations on such a good movie. Thank you, Jenelle. Oh, and if everyone can stay seated while we get out of here. Thank you so much.